Yes, and
Okay, all right. Good morning, everybody. We are having a party here before we go live. And it's exciting to share with you guys on our Inspired Insights session that William, Armin, and I are here to share more information about BaZi today. But before the party started, we were having another party, chit-chatting about where our quarter 4 is going to go, our upcoming international trip that we are all excited about, and also the new courses that we are developing in the pipeline. Like I'm working on a Ziwei Daoshu beginners course. Arman is working on a karmic numerology course. William is working on another Chiman course. So we've got a lot of things coming up for the next year. Hopefully, we will be able to give you more information. But today, we are going to talk about BaZi. So let me queue up my deck here and begin. Today, I have William Chua from Singapore with me. Hi, William. How are you?
Hi Gagan.
I've got Arman from Armenia. Arman, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Gagan.
Great. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today for our live session for Friday live stream. My name is Gagan Sarkaria. I'm your high achievement business coach, and I run an international consulting group. We are very diverse in our backgrounds. We assist determined entrepreneurs achieve remarkable success. We've got a couple of our consultants in Dubai and in Cambodia right now. Jake is with his family there, so we do miss them. Today, we've got William to present as our keynote, who's going to take you over to his session on BaZi. This is a continuation from his series, but I want to share a little bit about William before. He is a certified Chinese metaphysics practitioner from Singapore. He's a part of my consulting group. What I really admire and appreciate about William is his passion to coach and mentor other people using various Chinese metaphysics modalities. He is a business owner. His background is in insurance agency owner. His diverse experience really makes him a great mentor because he inspires and cultivates these talents using Chinese metaphysics modalities. He's an expert in BaZi, he's expert in Qigong, and he also does Yijing and date selection. And since 2019, William has been passionately pursuing his education and adaptation of various modalities using Qigong, date selection, BaZi, Feng Shui, and Yijing into his business and with his mentees. So before you start today's session, whether you're watching us live or you're going to be watching us on a replay, there is a session, part 1 and part 2 series called Useful Stars in BaZi that William has conducted. So here are the scan codes, QR codes that you can scan to go directly to those sessions so that you have a better understanding of what we are talking about today. So with further ado, please join me in welcoming William Chua for today's session. Hi, William. This is all yours now.
Hi Gagan. All right. Thank you for your nice introduction. Okay. Yes. The previous 2 sessions that we see from the previous slide, on this useful stars in BaZi part 1 and part 2, I talk about the nobleman star as well as intelligent star. So I also talk about how to find these 2 stars in your BaZi chart or in the luck pillar, and then how to use them, and how these stars actually able to create an impact in your life. So today, what I'm going to talk about is another 3 more stars, which I classify as total as top 5 positive stars, and also the other top 5 negative stars. Okay, so let me go on with the slides. As you know, Lao Tzu is a saying, knowing others is intelligent, knowing yourself is true wisdom. You see, so sometimes we by knowing your BaZi well, you know where is your strength and weaknesses. That's how you can actually build your characters and your future. And we make by knowing all these strengths and weaknesses, you can create miracles. That's why knowing yourself is important. So, just in case you do not have your BaZi chart with you, okay, you can actually scan the QR code to plot your BaZi chart. Because later when we're going after explaining all the stars, the usage, I also talk about where to find these stars in some simple format. So you need to have a BaZi chart in order to know where to find these stars. Okay, so top 5 positive stars, as I mentioned, nobleman star and intelligence star, I already mentioned in the previous 2 sessions. But however, I will still do a quick run through on these 2 stars, what are their attributes. At the same time, I'll go on to the other 3 positive stars. So, nobleman stars, okay, as the name implies, noble people, or you'll find noble people. It's called nobleman. So, how does it actually these nobleman people come in? Actually, you can attract mentors into your life, or these people also can. The troubles will be diluted with others' help. This others is your nobleman, and at the same time, there's some forthcoming support in times of needs. One thing do note that some people might have misconcept. Nobleman, they always think that must be a nice guy. I think in the previous session I did mention that. They always think that nobleman must be a nice guy, something that somebody could actually help you all the way without so-called giving all out to help you, which is sometimes is not true. Because some noblemen can be very nasty. For example, certain noblemen we can classify as noblemen, like example, when you're doing something, your colleague somehow, okay, maybe create some fuss on you, and then complain to the your manager, and then create a scene in your office. But because of this thing, then you tell yourself, hey, I'm not going to let the person do this on me. I will prove the person that I'm right or he's wrong. So with this thought, this person actually could be a nobleman to you, because it make you feel and think otherwise, and do something different, and then make it work for you. So nobleman might not be a good person in nature fact. Yes or no. But if you can find a very good nobleman, nice one, that will be perfect. But if it's not, it's okay, right? So this is a nobleman star. Next one is the intelligence star. So intelligence star, it creates great learning capability, artistic talents, or literary prowess, and then inclination towards social and fine arts. Some of you might think, intelligence, what if I don't have intelligence star? Means I'm stupid? Usually it's not. Because there are many other ways to determine the person's learning capability, because there are some, we call it the learning star. So intelligence is just part of it, part of the star actually we are talking about here. But with this intelligence star, definitely you make a lot of difference towards your journey on learning things. As I said, with this intelligence, you actually can learn things faster somehow. Or people once tell certain thing, you straight come into your mind, you know what's going on. So this intelligence star actually does make a little bit different. Right? So next one, I'm going on. Because these 2 stars I've been talking about in the previous 2 sessions, so I won't go in too much. Okay, next one is called Dragon Virtue. So what is Dragon Virtue? It brings good tidings and positivity. It also can minimize impact of negative outcomes, and so have the ability to make an unexpected situation favorable. You see, so there's to say that this Dragon Virtue star is a problem-solving star. There's to say that whenever you encounter certain issue, somehow with this Dragon Virtue in your chart, if you have, somehow it will turn out well. You see? Problem will be solved easily. So this is a very strong or very good, we call it a Dragon Virtue. You will have it in your chart. Next one is called Sun. The Sun. It is just the sun. But actually, it's not really a sun. Just a name called Sun. Okay. So what can the sun do? If you have a sun in your chart, It can actually mitigate effects of negative outcome, or you have assistance from the nobleman in life, or even a career progression. Then you must see, hey, then what's the difference between sun and dragon virtue? Isn't it the same? Yes, somehow sun and dragon virtue both are about the same, but they have different power. Okay, for sun, usually this power will be more strong and active during daytime. Yeah, because the name implies sun. So during nighttime, it won't be so strong. But for dragon virtue is at all time. But however, with this sun, you actually make things clear to you. Because sun is bright, clarity. So these two actually, if you have these two or either one, is good enough. The sun or the dragon virtue. However, when you have this dragon virtue or sun, it means that your life path, you might face some challenges. Because without challenges, this sun and dragon virtue will not be activated. So, sad to say, if you have sun or dragon virtue in your chart, in your natal chart, it means that sometimes in your life, you definitely will find some difficulty, some challenge that actually affect your thinking, your thoughts, or your future. But again, when these two comes in, they will help you solve whatever problem that you have. So that's why you don't have to worry. But sometimes you must know, in life, life is not a smooth sail, okay? Life is always have up and down. It's only with up and down, then we learn that what we were supposed to learn. If a person's life is smooth sail, I can tell you there's nothing, I would say, fantastic or some important to remember. But if the life cycle of the person is up and down, and they're able to conquer all these things and resolve it, you will feel much more fulfillment in life. So that's how it makes us people, right? So for this 2 star, it's very important because it really helps to resolve whatever kind of issue that you have. Next one, last but not least of the positive star, it's called general star. General. So again, by the name implies, it's the general, is the king, is the higher up, or is the somebody actually giving commands. So it denotes leadership capability. You also do have the assistance of powerful and kind individuals. At the same time, you also can be excel in academics and sports. So people with this general star, in fact, actually, they somehow kind of very inclined towards academic and in learning things. So they can learn things, or they can be creative. They can be very creative to do things. But one setback for this general star is that they could be a bit lonely. Because as the name implies, general. So general is high up, high up. So when this person is high up, normally they have lesser friend in a sense. Yeah. But it's okay. You see, sometimes we do see a lot of so-called leaders. They always high up in the so there are not many people or not many good friends in a sense. But to us, as long as you have a general star, it's actually somehow able to give you all the so-called the capability, as I say, the leadership capability, so that you're able to lead people. So to me, general star is also very good. But of course, it depends on where this general star lands on. It can be on a year, month, day, or hour. Then it affects different part of your life and different part of the circle of people, right? So this thing, I think we have been talking about this thing again in the previous session in the nobleman star as well as intelligence star on the year, month, day, or hour. And of course, the luck cycle and annual pillar. So let's sum up a bit on the 5, we call it the positive stars. So I'm going on in today. Next one is the top 5 negative stars. Right. So you can see from here, there are 5 of them. One is called Grand Duke. The other one is called Year Breaker. One is called Solitary. The other is Lonesome. And last but not least is the Signal Star. So they have a top 5 negative stars. So for Grand Duke, okay, for Grand Duke, like this year is the dragon. This year the Grand Duke is dragon. So that means if you have a dragon in your chart, in your natal chart, That means you have a Grand Duke this year, right? So what does it mean by Grand Duke over here? It prone to accidents or even have a disruption in plans, and it may go into arguments and conflicts. Not to worry that if this Grand Duke is in the year, because you see, everybody born with Grand Duke in the year. It's just that the impact of this Grand Duke you usually into only when the luck cycle or annual pillars comes in. Other than that, this Grand Duke is always in the year because we're born in a certain year with the certain animal sign was actually assigned to, right? So Grand Duke, in actual fact, is good to me, even though we classify as a negative star, right? Because why do I say that? See, Grand Duke means that the person is somehow, whether you like it or don't like it, is everybody is easily seen. What I mean by easily seen means that this person somehow, if it is a Grand Duke, somehow this person, people will get to know this person, or this person is somehow could suddenly become very famous, very famous, whether by be it in the good way or the bad way. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is called Grand Duke. Yeah. So
It's
sometimes with this Grand Duke, what you need to do, to what I might think, is that we have to make use of this Grand Duke. If you have this Grand Duke in this chart, in this year especially, you have to expose yourself in the way that to the people, to be seen, to let people know about you, aware about you. Just take the leadership on and then handle, and then this will be the life of the year, So this year actually will be very good. Now,
I
Gagan, you have
think,
something to say.
yeah, what I wanted to add here was like, yes, it's considered a negative star, but if you really want to convert that negativity to your favor, then you need to accept and embrace the spotlight. It's like all eyes are on you, and the expectation is that you're going to be able to lead, or you're going to able to show up for something or someone. So if you are okay with that, then this aspect can really set a good foundation for building your brand and for period 9, where people can then show up and say, oh, William can do that, Armin can do that, Gagan can do that. If you have the Grand Duke in your chart and you want to take the responsibility, it's basically about showing up with responsibility and committing that you're going to take over the responsibility and fulfill it. It's like going back home with whatever responsibility was given to you, you fulfilled it. And if you fail, then that's where this can kick your ass and can be on the opposite side.
Exactly. Especially if you have a Grand Duke this year in your coming into in your chart, and you choose to hide or not to do anything, tada, probably you'll get something. Okay,
Yeah.
so you have to act like a Grand Duke. You see, that's the purpose of it.
Yeah.
Okay. All this connotation, whether top 5 negative, top 5 positive, in fact, actually is all in terms of, we read it as a traditional way of reading. In the modern days, even is a negative star, we are able to make it a good star in a sense, as long as you know what to do. Right. So this is very important. Because modern days and traditional way of reading is totally different. Traditional, yes, I can tell you, Grand Duke definitely is a bad one in a sense. In terms of traditional way, it means that you when you have a Grand Duke, something bad will happen to you. That is a old style of looking. But in nowadays, well, if you look at the social media, right? So if you have Grand Duke, go ahead or be famous,
Yeah.
in a good way, of course, in a good way.
Of course, of course. And I love the differentiation that you're putting here, William, that the old way of reading is different. And I think the old way of reading was also to put fear in people's mind, because then you are bound to the fate. But I want to tell everybody here that there's a difference between fate and destiny. And no matter which modality of destiny science you want to follow, whether it's Ziwe Dao Shu, whether it's the 4 Pillars of Destiny BaZi reading, whether it's karmic numerology, whether it's Chiman destiny, or whether it's Vedic astrology. Astrology gives you a different lens to see where your fate is, like things set in stone, and how can you convert that information to recreate your destiny. So there's a 70-30 rule, according to my belief systems and my understanding, that fate is 30% fixed. Like, for example, where were you born? What parents you were born into? What family you were born into? That was your fate. But what do you choose to do afterwards is your destiny. That is defined by your decisions. So, what I absolutely love about Chinese metaphysics, whether it's Ziva Dao Shu, Qigong, BaZi Feng Shui, date selection, is that it allows us the playing field of that 70% to recreate based upon the information that you can learn, you can embrace, you can accept, and then have the courage to follow through. So just like William is saying, if you have Grand Duke this year in 2024, or maybe your Grand Duke is going to show up on your chart next year, you need to be ready to show up and take responsibility like an emperor or an empress or a military general, because all eyes are on you and all expectations are going to be on you.
Yes, totally agree with Gagan. You
Thank
see, just a little bit extra information. I do have this dragon in my month pillar, and this year is the dragon year. So, can you see? Month represent career, represent your wealth. You see, so this is what I'm doing today. Where I'm doing the sharing that with in the social media. So that's what I'm doing as a grand duke. What it's supposed to be. You see,
Exactly.
of course, uh, there's a little bit of problems. I do have some accident. Last week, it just happened last week. Last Friday or Saturday, I would say. I didn't know what happened. It just happened to my left kneecap. It just feels so painful. I, I do not know why. And then it's swelling. So I couldn't walk really. You know. So in the end, I went to see this doctor. And then doctor said that it's a bursa inside my within the bone. So he gave me some inflammation medicines and some painkillers, and it just recovered within 1-2 days. And today I already started my regular exercise. You see, so as sometimes as and when we do have some planned disruption that comes in, like what it was mentioned, well, it's okay, it's okay. These are small as long as we are doing what it's supposed to be as a grand view.
Exactly.
And
But also, thank you for sharing that, that you've got dragon on your natal chart. And then in the month pillar. And then this is the dog month of 2024. So there's a clash there too. So for those of you who don't know what that would mean, and there's a clash month going on right now that started October 8th, Armin and I have done 2 different live streams with William that you might be interested in watching to understand that if you have either dog or dragon in your natal chart, and if you have Grand Duke, what kind of information that reveals to you, and how should you actually plan your month and the quarter that is left now, and also for the next year. Okay, so this is an important information, and I'm glad you're feeling better, William.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Year breaker. I think year breaker is the one that we need to be more careful rather than grand duke. Because grand duke to me is okay, it's fine as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be. However, for year breaker, it will be a little bit different. That's what Gagan was saying. What is a year breaker? For dragon year breaker is the dog. So this is a dog month. That's why the year breaker comes in with some impact to the world, to energy. Yeah. So that's a difference, you see, for year breaker. And you know what? Just now, before we're going to start the live stream, okay, somehow my whole house network went down. So I have to try to troubleshoot, restart my whole router, and then make it start work again. I was so worried that it didn't. If it's not able to start, I cannot do the live stream. You see, so these are the energies unstably that actually causing all these problems. So that's why the dog month actually is affecting the dragon year. So this is the year breaker impact. Okay. So what this year breaker explanation here is that probably it will be financially strapped. Also can be there's a so-called obstacles in saving money and accumulating wealth. Or if maybe you'll be indicate that some unsettling or unexpected changes. Because to us, when year breaker means what? Means clash. So dog clash dragon. So when there's a clash, it means changes. So in other fact, as long you're able to know what is the changes, or able to handle changes, or expecting changes as well, then everything will be fine. Let me quote you another example of this year breaker thing. I think in one of the year, I couldn't remember which is the year.
Maybe
During the Chinese New Year. Okay, there's one year. Uh, the Chinese New Year. I think the day I couldn't remember. It's the day 3 or day 4 of the Chinese New Year, whereby the new energy came in, which is a clash year again to one of my animal sign. Okay, there's a clash on my year, on my year animal sign. So it's a red year that year. Okay, it's a red year, and then I have a horse in the year pillar. I have a horse in my year pillar. So the red year came and it clashed my horse year pillar. You know what? Well, I was actually going for so-called a routine exercise, walking along the road while crossing the traffic light to cross to the other end to go for a building for the exercise. Somehow I tripped. I tripped, and then I hit on my face and was bleeding. My whole face was bleeding and swollen. Okay, my whole face bleeding and swollen. So I was wondering what happened. Then I then I have to, luckily because I have a backpack with me because I'm going for exercise. So I use my towel to, so-called the hold on to all the bleedings and then rush back home to wash up again. So after everything, I realized, wow, that's how my year start with the clash, with a fell or hit on my face. Because why is that? Year pillar, or can means upper body. Okay, upper body. That's how we see a BaZi chart, right? So year pillar is upper body. So when there's clash on my year pillar, I fell on my face. So it's affecting. So that's why it's year breaker, something like that. Okay.
Wow.
That's
Guys,
what's
I want to share my experience, guys.
Yes, please.
As you know, I was born in dog year, and this year is a year breaker for me. I faced a lot of changes in my life during the entire year. And also I couldn't, there's some obstacles in saving money as well, because it's a great consumer. I start spending there, and it always pushes me to do some purchases all the time.
Extra expenses.
Expenses. And knowing this, I already planned my expenses beforehand, for the whole year and for the whole month, certain
Nice.
month. Yes.
Yeah.
And also, as you mentioned, that the year is the upper part of our body. And currently we are in dog month. Today, I woke up with my tooth pain somehow. I don't know why, but I woke up. Uh,
Oh my gosh.
and I just remember, oh my God, this month is a dog month. I have dog in my year pillar, and the year is dragon year. So, guys, how you see how the energies are working.
Yeah, I agree. But let me give you a remedy for that, for your toothache right now. A little bit of coconut oil and clove oil, essential oil, a few drops, and then you just rub it wherever it's hurting. It'll take your pain away, so that you're not in pain, and then you can go see your dentist.
I called my desk saying, I've got this problem. He say, you can visit me only on Monday. Oh my God, only on Monday.
We'll fix your toothache after the live stream for sure. For sure. Okay, I want to share my experience too. And this is fascinating because we've got the dragons and the dogs in the house today. So I have a dog in my hour pillar. So the hour pillar represents your children, it represents your investments, your assets, your internal mindset, it can, like, your thoughts, and it also can represent your staff and employees, right? So just like Armin shared, that dog this year has the year breaker, star, but it also has the great consumer, meaning, that there's extra expenses, there is extra money going out rather than coming in, or there will be difficulty savings and stuff. So just like Armin and William have shared that they planned ahead because we knew this was coming, I did the same. And I knew great consumer means like expenses. So I redirected that expense energy because it's fated, meaning the star is coming, it's going to do its effect. So what do you let that energy, how do you let that energy affect you makes a difference. So I redirected that expenses into investments. So this year I have done some major investments, long-term like projects that are absolutely related to period 9 energy, total disruptors, including with all the energies that you think of that we teach in our period 9 masterclass, William. I have redirected my greater consumer star energy and the year breaker energy into investments because I'm going to spend the money anyways, right? So
Yes.
why not create something that will actually set me up for retirement or set me up for something else, help my children, have legacy there, because I've created funds for my children too, because it's in my hour pillar. So I've directed all of my energies very strategically based on my natal charts, both BaZi and Z-Way, but also I could see it in Chiman. If I was able to, invest in this. So I did a lot of these modalities to get myself back on the top of the game where, I kind of tanked a couple of years ago. So thank you to Chinese Metaphysics and all this information. Yeah,
Yeah.
negative doesn't mean bad. It's like, hey,
Exactly.
it's a shaking energy. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to shake with the energy, or are you going to stabilize yourself and let the energy flow in a good direction?
Yeah. Totally. Thanks for sharing, Aman and Gagan. You see, that's why whenever you see year breaker, it usually comes, we call it a great consumer. Great consumer. So great consumer means technically means actually you have to spend a lot of money somehow. Okay, whether you like it or don't like it, you will spend some money. Okay, this is about the auxiliary star. Okay, so we're not talking about this great consumer, but however, this year breaker usually come with great consumer. So that's to say that somehow, some way, you will spend a lot of money. So why not you channel like what Aman and Gagan's doing? Channel this kind of thought that you definitely will have to spend big amount of money and into something that is useful to you, that you make your learning journey or even your investment or whatever, that you actually can make your path easier and better. So sometimes when we see this negative star, it doesn't mean that yes, there's a changes, as I say, definitely there's a changes unexpected. Yeah, as long you are able to handle, able to foresee, or even able to do it this thing well, make use of this so-called the energy, and then you create another miracle, right? So it's okay with year breaker, right? Let's move on. Okay, we have this solitary star. Solitary star is something like the person dislike being surrounded by people, or incapable of socializing or intermingling, or likes to be alone and me time. See, again, see, when in the olden days, when we see people see solitary star, people say that okay, this person is unfriendly, don't want to make friend, always alone, all these kind of things. But well, nowadays we are talking about a lot of me time. Sometimes I would like to have my me time as well. See, so my me time is important. See, that's how the world is changing. See, we are talking about a lot about manifestation. See, we given all the good hours, everything. Talk about all this about manifestation. This is about me time, right now. I'm manifesting towards certain thing that I want. So this is a me time I want to be. So it's not that bad to have this solitary star whereby you want to be alone and then do something that you like. You see, so this solitary star somehow in olden days is classified as negative star, but we make it right by doing. So even with this solitary star, you can, in a sense, you be alone the time you create something like maybe you learn or you learn something, also can be good. Learning, right? So it's not that we don't want to mingle with people. When you have this solitary star, means actually you are all right to be alone. Yeah, it's not that you feel lonely. It's different thing. Unlike the next one I'm going to share is we call it Lonesome Star. This Lonesome Star is a little bit different. These also people will feel so-called isolation or loneliness, or unable to express emotions. I feel like nobody understand him or her. You see, so these people somehow eventually, okay, if never handle well, will go into depression. Will go into depression. So just be very careful who have this lonesome star. So lonesome star is to me in my own perspective, I feel that lonesome star is a bit more not so good, a bit more dangerous as compared to solitary star. But nevertheless, again, lonesome star doesn't mean that as long again, if you have this lonesome star, it means example, I do see people try to have this lonesome star, especially during the so-called the old age example. So if it's got during old age, you have this lonesome star. So you will feel that nobody likes you, you are alone, all your family members don't want to talk to you, or even can say that your children all don't want to visit you. You have these feelings, But again, when you have this so-called lonesome star happening, what can you do? It's the action plan that you need to do. So when you're facing this lonesome star or even solitary star, what you need to do, you just need to open up yourself, make more friends, and join those activities, or even have a so-called a small group of people who have common activities, common things to do. Then you won't feel lonely, right? So all this thing is telling you have this tendency of this so-called negative star. It's not cast in stone, It's just that you need to know what you need to do and to overcome this negativity. So it's okay, even you have this lonesome star. So to say, I remember I was saying that the key difference between lonesome star and the solitary star is, for solitary star is the person don't mind to be alone. But for lonesome star is the person will feel lonely. So that's a huge difference between these two. Okay. And then the last but not least again, is a signal star. So signal star, as the name implies again, very easy, straightforward. There's a risk for health setback or possibility of surgery, or even to have some psychological issues. Right? So when people have this signal star in their chart, I would say do go for annual checkup just in case, right? Or even you create a so-called a routine exercise, or even you take care of your dietary plan, everything. So as long you see, nowadays this modern world, we have all this medical so advanced, so advanced. Because olden days, or even like this our virus, is uncurable one. It's when you hit like COVID, this our virus, people will die. You can imagine. Okay, even of course now people did die during the COVID. A lot of people die. But again, but things so advanced that we can create vaccines. You see. But last time there's no such thing as vaccine. Last time if people hit this type of things, they, people will just die. But again, they said the medical is so advanced that I think can be okay. So as long as if you have this signal star in your chart, just be more careful, check, do annual check, and then you set up routine, healthy routine, like exercise, diet, then everything should be fine. Of course, when you talk about psychological effect, you probably, the more you need to do manifestation, the more you need to have this so-called the me time to manifest a good outcome, to increase your confidence. You see, yeah.
It's interesting. And thank you, William, for sharing all of this, because this is fascinating information to everybody. I hope everybody watching is going to be so curious about their own BaZi natal chart that they will actually go plot their chart and start looking at it. Like, which stars do they have on their natal chart and this year? So just a little bit of my experience personally, I actually have the Lonesome star and the Sickness star on my natal BaZi chart. And it's interesting. Thank God it's not on my Daymaster pillar. It's on my hour pillar, and then one is on my month pillar. So just from a health and wellness perspective, I've been fascinated by alternative medicine, since I was little girl, because I was born and brought up in India. So, if you're sick, you go to the kitchen. You go to your herbal toolbox. You go to your grandma's closet, where she's hiding all these little traditional Ayurvedic herbal modalities. Like, okay, you have a bruise, or you are scraping, or you're bleeding. You don't go to the doctors. Back in the days, the doctors would come to your home if you were literally sick and in bed. You don't go to a clinic. That's how I grew up. There was a family practitioner, a physician. He would just bring his little suitcase, and he would come once a month. He would check everybody, from the little infant to the aging grandparent in the house. That's how it used to be. Um, so from my lonesome star being in my hour pillar, I have been very mindful of my thoughts. I can't have negative thinking, because it can manifest, because I have a 7-star hook. So I have to be very careful. And I also believe in do it yourself physical checkups and health. You need to learn to listen to your body. What is your mind, body, and soul telling you? You need to be in sync with it, so that if you don't feel good, you can actually manifest good health. So, with the lonesome star, mental health is very important. Just like William, you shared that there could be a psychological aspect, or you really feel lonely. I can't say that I feel lonely, but there are some moments where I do feel that I don't have friends, when I'm like, I'm not looking for friends either. I have great buddies, like with the like-minded philosophies, and it is amazing that I've been able to find my tribe, my group of people that resonate, and we are on the same wavelength. And that's where you all showed up, because I was manifesting for that for a very long time. And I have the sickness star in my month pillar. So if you look at it, how the year pillar is your top, the month pillar is like in the center kind. So when I'm really stressed, I can have heart palpitations. So back in the days when I was pregnant and 9/11 happened, that was my first time when I actually saw the towers falling. And I was pregnant in my 3rd trimester. I had heart palpitations that I was put on a heart monitor. So I learned that that is a possibility on my chart. I need to really manage my stress levels. So I brought in meditation and Chiman manifestation on top of it to really calm myself down, and it really works. So looking at it on your own chart, you need to manifest, you need to meditate, you need to have your own me time, and keep your stress levels down, because stress is the 96% root cause of all the gazillion diseases, the discomforts of the physical body that we have. Stress is the root cause of it. So there are pillars of health here you can follow. And looking at your sickness star, if you have it, you need to be more vigilant. You need to take control of that energy and be healthy at the mind, body, and soul level.
Yes, totally agree with Gagan. That's why if you have these signal stars and lonesome stars, very important that you need to do manifestation. Very important. So in case that you want to know the dates, you just refer to our Telegram or even the Facebook or Instagram. If you join, and you should be able to see the posting of the dates and time, the good time for manifestation. All right. Okay. Then now, what I'm going to show you, where can you find these stars? Whether are they in your natal chart, luck pillar or annual pillar, right? So you can see from this particular person. That's why I say the Grand Duke. You don't have to worry about Grand Duke, because the Grand Duke is always with your year pillar. So you don't really bother, unless the Grand Duke, as I mentioned, unless the Grand Duke came in during your luck cycle, or even during your so-called annual luck cycle, right? So that makes a difference. However, you do see that there's a dragon virtue. It means this guy do have a dragon virtue in the day pillar, which is very good. And this person has a lonesome star. Okay, it's very small, though. I'm just squinting my eyes again. Lonesome star as well as a year breaker, because you see, dog clash with dragon. So there's a lonesome star, and then there's a year breaker star. Okay, yeah. So these are the two stars actually. I just mentioned about what are they. Okay, you can refer back to the video if you can later on for the replay, right? So this is what you can see. Next one, how if it's not in your natal chart, look at your luck pillar. This is the first 50 years of the person, first 50. So again, if you look into the first 50, if I'm going to take a close look, where is the star? Wow, the wordings are so small. I'm not sure whether you guys can see. I'm trying my very best to find the related. There's an intelligent star. Yeah, there's an intelligent star. There's where else? Nobleman. Yeah, and so on. So you can find in over here. Okay.
Yeah, there is a solitary star in the 33rd, like in the fourth luck pillar to the left. And then there is a sun star also in the luck pillar that is starting from age 33.
There's a sun.
Sample.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a sun star here. Okay. Okay.
And then
Interesting.
there's a Grand Duke in the fifth luck pillar starting from age 43 in this chart. So
That's to say, yeah, I should thank you, Gagan, for highlighting. That's to say, if the person is at this group age time, the person is during this age. For this chart, this person is in this age is 33 or onwards for the next 10 years. Okay, in this luck cycle, the person is in this luck cycle. For example, if the person is in this luck cycle and they know that it's coming to have a sun or stars in the next luck cycle, you can plan, you can plan what you're supposed to do. And because you can make full use of the sun because the problem solver. Remember, sun is a problem solver. Even for this guy, let's say this is the current luck cycle. Now you are going to the next luck cycle coming, which is the call it Grand Duke, right? The Grand Duke. So when it means on this, you have to means by now, by this period luck cycle, you have to be ready. You're ready to be so-called to be seen. Be ready to get to know the people to get to know you, or to be famous. It's your time. So you just be ready. Okay. Then the next 50 luck cycles is from here. You can see the rest of things. I won't go through individual stars. You can go and find with your so-called your budget chart. Look in your budget chart into luck pillar as well. You can see whether do you have it, and then you can plan accordingly, depend on which luck cycle you are in. So now, if you really do not have any, that's the one I mentioned, stars in your natal chart or in your luck cycle, which is unlikely. Now, usually you should have, okay, you should have. The next one we can see is the annual pillar, right? Annual pillar means that you see every year there's animal sign. So this year is dragon year. So these are all the stars being assigned to each animal sign of the dragon year. That's to say that in 2025, which is a snake year, we have a different sets of, we call it the stars, auxiliary stars, different set of auxiliary stars attached to each and individual animal sign. Or we will be different, right? So for this year, 2024, these are the assigned so-called the auxiliary star in the dragon year. So you can see inside here, definitely you can sign those top 5 positive stars and top 5 negative stars in any of the animal sign. You just take a closer. So for example, let me choose one. Is the wow, it's really very small. Gagan, you're able to find for me this dragon virtue. Let me see. It's too small on my screen. Pardon me. Or you can find general star.
Dragon Virtue is in the pig.
In the pig.
Yes.
Dragon virtue is here. Okay. Oh, so you see this guy, there's a pig here, right? So that means now in nature, this guy has a dragon virtue. And in the so-called pig month or the pig if you see, they say pig have a dragon virtue, they say this has a pig. So that's to say this person have a dragon virtue. That's how we refer the chart.
Mm-hmm.
Another way you can do is we look at the month, because every month also being a sign, an animal sign,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you can see if it's a pig month, okay, pig month which is coming soon, right? Because after dog, the pig month is November.
Correct.
Yeah, November. So there's to say, though November, this person will have a dragon virtue coming, and it can help this guy to solve whatever problem he has.
Yeah.
So you can actually look into all these things, go by month as well, not just on the natal luck cycle or annual pillar, in the month as well. Yeah, because pig month is coming in November, and the red month is December. That's how we see the chart. Okay, so that's how we can find those important positive stars and negative stars, or we call it the auxiliary stars. But in total, they are I lost count. I think about 150 positive stars, but close to 300 negative stars. Okay, so you can imagine 300 negative stars. But some are stronger, some are weaker. So today, what I mentioned usually are those stronger, stronger that impact you more. Those weak, we will just put aside. That's for the future, that if we have a chance to talk about the auxiliary star. Okay, so with all these stars here, okay, I'm thinking of next section, because we haven't talked about wealth stars, you see, wealth star. So in the next section, I'm planning to talk about wealth star. Because wealth star, there are many ways to look into it. So people always like to find, do I have the wealth to be rich? Do I have the wealth star in my chart? People sometimes will have this question. So my next session, we will talk about where can you find wealth star in your chart. Okay, I think that's all for today for my sharing.
Yes, William, we have people watching us and got a few questions. The first question from one of our viewers is, where do we see the auxiliary stars on an ongoing year basis on BaZi chart? And does Chinese Metasoft show this? So the answer is yes, it does, depending upon your subscription to the software that you're using, whether you're using Chinese Metasoft or anything else out there. There are a lot of platforms and softwares and plotters and calculators that are free versions. And then there is the paid subscription to these softwares that let you see the more in-depth analysis of your personal charts. And definitely, yes, the year charts in there. The second question that is interesting because...
Gagan, let me add on to this.
Yes.
I think we are planning, to talk about 2025 auxiliary stars in maybe December or January.
Yes,
Yeah,
we are.
we're planning. So
Yes.
you stay tuned when we have a session talking about most of important, we call it the auxiliary stars in 2025 being assigned to each animal sign. So
Correct.
do look up.
Yes, we are working on our 2025 Achievers Guide, where we give you an overview of the whole year upcoming, which will be the next year, 2025, the Yin Wood Snake Year. We will be talking about the auxiliary stars. We'll be talking about the overall energy. And we'll also be talking about how do you personalize it to create your success in 2025. So definitely stay tuned for that. One of the questions a viewer is asking, William, is death god with pig in 2024 very bad? It's a negative star for sure. So if you want to answer that.
Okay. Death god is not really a big issue, okay, to me. Okay. As long as you see, because together we have this dragon virtue. Remember, dragon virtue is strong enough to solve all problems, including death god. So you don't have to worry.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful star, dragon virtue.
And I also think that some of the names of the stars translated into English with the word death, if you really...
Sounds scary.
Yes, it sounds scary, but it isn't. It's just a little bit of a negative, unexpected things that happen. But what we are trying to do here is educate everybody and inspire you guys to take control of those negative energies coming your way and redirect and convert them into positive. But remember, the yin-yang concept of the nature is wherever there is negative, there has to be a positive. Wherever there is positive, there will be tiny little aspect of negativity in there. That's the whole concept of yin and yang. So don't be scared of the yin if you think yin is negative, and don't be scared of the yang if yang is positive, right? So it's just a perception and a perspective. So understanding how do you solve your problems is the key here.
Exactly. Especially just now I mentioned, if you have a dragon virtue or the sun, these two stars reside in whichever animal sign, all those negative stars will be actually diminish the strength. Because these two stars is so strong, the sun and the dragon virtue is so strong, they're able to handle all the small little negative auxiliary stars. So not to worry about that.
Exactly. So, just think about how the sun and the moon and the stars work. So when the sun comes out, you can't see the stars because there's no darkness. But that doesn't mean that the darkness isn't there and the stars are not there, right? They are there, but the power is like it doesn't exist, So focus on the sun and the power that it gives you on your chart, or the dragon virtue power that brings to your chart, whether it's on your natal chart, on your luck pillars, annual pillars, or your month pillars. It's very important to use that. Now, thank you, William, for an amazing sharing. This was great series of your useful stars in BaZi series. Thank you for sharing amazing session here. I want to invite everybody and encourage everyone watching to come join us, hang out with us in Abundance Manifestation channel. Here is the QR code for you to scan and see where things are. And with further ado, the other thing I wanted to share was, if you want to, let's see, is this my screen? Okay. I want to end the session here, but I also want to take you to the next slide. If my slide would go forward. Yes. That we have in the Abundance Manifestation Academy.com, our academy, the Period 9 masterclass that we've recorded. We've got the e-course going on. If you're interested in learning all the modalities that we have here, come scan this QR code and join us in AbundanceManifestationAcademy.com. Until next time, this is Gagan Sarkaria signing off with Armin and William here. Have a great weekend and see you guys next week. Thank you.